All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is after market hours, and I figured, I have over 100 subscribers now, so I figured I'll do a little video on who is Stevetrader66. So, Stevetrader66, how long you been trading? Well, I've been trading since 2008. What do you like trading? Well, I've done, my favorite is scalping. That's my wheelhouse, but I've done it all. Price action trading, trend trading, stocks. I've traded bonds. I've traded futures. I've traded now cryptocurrency trading, and I'm just buying it. Yeah, and my wheelhouse is scalping. I found out scalping. I've traded options, so I know a little bit about some of the asset classes, and some things are better than others. And I really enjoy options. I enjoy selling options, just collecting premium. Right? We need volatility for that. So when volatility picks up in the market, it's just really good to get and sell options. So I do that. Um, I have several different platforms. Uh, I use Quant Tower specifically for. Got me into the futures was pretty much leverage. So you can leverage low margins, leverage, but not to be complacent. Oh, they're going to allow me to, trade for $50 to trade, with leverage. So you're not going to open an account with $200. Of course, you're going to be, you know, you could open an account with, $200 with a $50 margin. Yeah, you can. Volatilities, you can probably make some money. But you probably want to at least go to where their minimum margin is. But if a broker is going to allow you to open an account with that little money, then it's on the broker. They're going to protect their interests and they're going to cut your trade. So think about that. But anyway, who am I? So I've been trading since 2008. I did, uh, how would I say? There are a couple of traders that I followed back then. Even before that, actually, before I actually started trading, because before I actually opened the platform, I read training books. I didn't open in 90s, early, maybe late 80s, early 90s. And my brother said, hey, because he was trading, and he's like, Steve, you got to read a book. I'm going to give you this book. He said, I'm going to give it to you. I said, what's the book? So he gave me the price action bar by bar by the author was Al Brooks. He says, you read this, if you understand this, you can trade. Pretty much. These guys are good. So, well, this guy is good, and I'll explain in a second. I'm reading like the first chapter. I'm like, what's this guy talking about? I didn't even understand anything. I thought I knew. High low. I mean, I know a little bit about the market, high lows, lower highs. How news can move it, how just like the media can move it. Just crazy, bad earnings, whatever, in companies. When I found out after reading the book, like 2 chapters, reading it like 3 or 4 times, I was like, wow, yeah, this guy has his own system. That I want my own system. I want to work to my own system. And I must have read his book 10 times, cover to cover. I still have the book. If I could get the book out, you're going to see it's still in pristine condition. Great, but it was a real hard read, and I benefited from that because I really wanted to learn. And my brother said, hey, this is the guy you got to read. Read this book first. If you understand this book, you're going to know how to trade. You're going to be on your way. And you know what? I was. And this is not a plug for Al Brooks. I've never joined a forum or anything that costs money. I bought his book to support it. Well, my brother gave me his book. I actually bought another book for another guy. So I kind of passed it on. Wait, so pay it forward to read. So I did purchase it. But there was another guy. My brother goes, you got to go into this other guy. I go, who is he? He goes, John Carter. I said, John Carter, let me look him up. He goes, no, I got the book. So John Carter's first book. I'm like, wow, this guy's great. You know, I'm reading it. And his was the easier read. A little humor in there and a little humility that he said something about spending the money on a house, or something that he's spending his down payment on a house or whatever. And there's actually, I think, a video on that. And, you know, he was sweating it out and whatever, but he was able to come across it and tapping out his credit card. The guy's just funny. It's actually, the way he explained it's serious, you know? But it's funny. And I was like this guy. So I was like, all right, I'll read his book. And it was very, very good. Very good book. He came out with something called the Squeeze. All right. And it's pretty cool. It's an indicator. And I'm not really into indicators, but the way that this indicator is designed, it's actually two indicators. But you'll read, if you into that type of stuff, you'll read about it. This is not a plug for John Carter either. So who is Steve66? Well, he's a guy who read a lot about trading. Probably read, let's see, in my closet, I got 15 books. Where did it get me? Well, I learned to identify things. I could, you know, maybe see a video and I could identify what they're talking about. I know about a lot of indicators, at least the common ones, and I use them here. I don't use them in my trading. I just use a 9 EMA, right? Because I'm scalping in 1 minute charts. So it's 9 candles, pretty much, is what that line is. So if you're in a minute chart and it's a 9 EMA, it's the 9 candles prior to the candle that you're there. It's analyzing that. Just a little knowledge. And then I use a 5-minute candle, a 5-minute candle chart with a 9 EMA. So that's 45 minutes of action there. So what's the deal now? The deal is, how did I come up with this? My system. Well, of years, all right, I'll give you this. I spent a year, it's called sitting on your hands, just looking at price action. Never took a trade. Sat down for 1 full year. Yeah, maybe 11 months. Because I remember December was like, there was nothing there. So I just said, it was like during Christmas and there was nothing, which was good to know. Just looking at price action. And just on a piece of paper, just writing bullish or bearish with a tick mark. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Bullish, bearish, that's it. Identifying candles, and then I went to trends. Candle bullish, yes. What's the trend? The trend's this. Where's the EMA? And I was doing a 20 EMA back then. 20 EMA. Where's the EMA? And so learning the patterns and just looking at patterns. And just looking and looking and looking and looking. I said, all right, there got to be a better way. Because once I understood that, I was like, there's got to be a better way. Oh, volume. Okay, so let's put volume in. So within 6 months, I did the volume. I was like, wow, look at that big volume spike, but there's nothing in the candle. There's no meat on the bone. What do? All right, let's take a look at this one. All right. Where are we in the price action? Are we on top of a resistance point? Maybe we're at a new low. So significant. What's the difference? That's what I learned. Read the volume. I said, well, there's got to be a better way, right? I can read the volume now. I could say, all right, you've got high volume, small candle. Maybe we're going to get a reversal. And it doesn't happen all the time, there's always probabilities. Or maybe there's, a lot of volume, but someone's just holding it down, holding the price down or up, depending on how the candle's developing. Shows up in this chart, right? Here's all the numbers you need to know. And the delta, regression, Okay. That's all you need to know. Well, that's all I need to know to trade successfully. So who's Steve? Trader66. Oh, he's a retail trader just like you. Steve Trader66. Why are you giving up your edge? Giving up my edge at all? I'm just an ocean full of sharks. I'm just trying to get, scrub the dirt off the ground. And there's plenty of it. Off the bottom of the sea. I'm just picking up crumbs. Crumbs add up. All right. See these traders, they're there and they're, floating how much money they're making and stuff like that. That's good. All this money, what are they selling? What are they? What are they selling their knowledge? They're making all this money. Most traders will just not say anything. There's a ton of traders that don't post, don't do anything, and they're just making their living. They don't want to be dealing with any of the social media and all that. I don't care about that. Right? I don't. I do for myself as well. I catalog my progress as a trader, and I've been trading that many years, and I'm still cataloging my. It's just that YouTube, you just flip a switch and everything becomes public. So I had a friend of mine say, "Hey, Steve, why don't you just make it public? Give you something to do." By the way, I'm retired. I retired early. And I said, yeah, if someone could benefit from it, we'll see how it goes. So the channel about a month ago, I got over 100 subscribers. I didn't, and people are finding value in it. So if people finding value in it, then there's value to me. They're going to lose my edge. I'm not going to lose my edge, right? Because you're going to trade differently than I am. I'm just going to give you what I look at. And then you're going to go ahead and find out your way, what's comfortable for you, where you're not going to run into FOMO, where you're going to have the right psychological profile to go ahead and trade, to take the risk. You see, it could be done. Nobody does it. I've never seen this on the internet where they actually do this. Okay, and it's free. Why don't you open a Discord and just have like a premium member? Because I don't want a job. I'm retired. I don't want a job. I don't want to have to wake up and people are paying me to be ready at 9 o'clock. I've done that. Been there, done that. Done. I'm retired. I worked my whole life. I traded my whole life. I said, I'm done. It's time to relax. So I want to trade when I want to trade. I want to keep my catalog. I enjoy it. I'm a scalper. I'm profitable. And my content's free. All right? So if you could gain from it, great. And I hope that's the plan, because I'm going to give back. Trading's been good to me. I want it to be good for you too. All right. So that's Steve Trader66. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you comment, I'll get back to you. If you're a subscriber already, I appreciate it. If you're a viewer, hit that like button. This is good stuff here, I'm telling you. You're not going to find internet. I'm just talking to you. This is unscripted. I have nothing in front. I'm not a pro blogger or whatever they call it. I'm just a guy trading. It's offering what I know, play-by-play, unscripted, what I see in the market, and react to it, manage. That's what I do. Please like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Steve Trader 66 out.